Senator Graham, there is a new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and he is now saying he wants to pay for Israel aid by slashing funding for the IRS. Senator Schumer, your colleague, says that's not a serious proposal. Senator McConnell has also said that he doesn't think that that's a good idea. So do you side with the top Democrat in the Senate or the top Republican in the House?
I side with Israel, and I want to get them as much money as they need as quick as they can get it. So to the House, I understand we need to start paying for things around here. I get that. But this is truly an emergency, and I don't think we've ever offset an emergency aid before. When we have a disaster, when there's a hurricane that hits South Carolina, we don't have pay-fors because it's an emergency. What I don't want to happen is that the support for Israel become partisan, right? I think there's probably 400 votes in the House to support Israel. Now, when you start putting things like pay-fors on the table, then you break that coalition apart.
So
that's what I worry about.
So you're saying Speaker Johnson is wrong?
Well, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying the reality is that when it gets to the Senate, it's not going to go forward the way it's constructed. We just don't have 60 votes for this. So rather than focusing on having pay-fors that Republicans like and Democrats don't, why don't we agree with the idea that all of us need to support helping Israel now? He can do whatever he wants to in the House, but when it comes to the Senate, I promise you there are not 60 votes for this.
Do you believe that Ukraine aid and Israel aid should remain together?
Personally, I do.
And do you think that that will ultimately happen?
I think it will in the Senate. You know, if Putin gets away with invading Ukraine, there goes Taiwan. Putin hosted Hamas, I think, yesterday in Moscow. So all this is really interconnected to me.
Why don't your colleagues understand that?
Well, listen, because I say it doesn't mean, I'm just telling you what I think. There's a lot of people believe that Ukraine's not a good investment. I'm not one of them. There's a lot of people believe you can let Putin get away with invading Ukraine, it won't matter. I'm just not one of them. There's a lot of people want to vote on it separately, but I don't. Let me tell you why. It's in America's national security interest to get this right. We need to secure our border. We need to help Ukraine. We need to stand with our friends in Israel. We should all do it together, because if we don't get all three right, we're in trouble. If we don't secure a border, we're in trouble. If we let Putin get away with invading Ukraine, we're in trouble. And God knows if we don't help Israel, they're in trouble.
All right, I want to turn now to politics. There is a presidential primary going on in your party. New CNN poll shows that Nikki Haley, someone you know very well, is in second place in South Carolina, both of your home states. Yeah. It's followed by Ron DeSantis and then Tim Scott. Should the candidates at this stage, who are not at least polling in the double digits, think about getting out of this race?
Well, the last person they need to get advice from is me. I ran for president. I don't think I ever got 1%. I got out because I ran out of money. That will work. But Nikki's done a heck of a job, I think, articulating a foreign policy I agree with. Tim Scott's one of the most intriguing, talented people in the Republican Party. Now, why am I with Trump? I like both Nikki and Tim. I believe if Trump were president, none of this would be going on. If he gets to be president in 2025, this will end pretty quickly. Whether you like Trump or not, there was order in the world that's been lost.
Well, Trump just recently said that he thought Hezbollah was smart. I mean, should someone who said something like that be president of the United States?
Yeah, well, he killed Soleimani, and I don't think Hezbollah is smart. But
he said that.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, if he were president of the United States, Hamas would not have attacked Israel. I really believe that. Putin wouldn't invade in Ukraine because they're afraid of the guy. Nobody's afraid of Biden. A lot of people are afraid of Trump.
Senator Graham, do you think that Nikki Haley ultimately is the best alternative to Trump
I think she's incredibly talented. If she won the nomination, I think she'd be a good president. I think Trump's going to win the primary in South Carolina and other places because most Republicans believed he was a good president for causes. He was a strong leader on national security. And I think most Republicans want him back in the White House.
One other point here. I mean, as you just mentioned earlier, Hamas is trying to stop a normalization deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel that is being brokered by the Biden administration. Mm-hmm. They're doing this because the Biden administration is moving forward with basically an expansion of the Abraham Accords.
I got nothing but praise for the Biden administration.
Well, I mean, in that respect, how would Trump have acted differently?
Well, I think, the Abraham Accords came about because the Arabs believed he would stand up to Iran. The only reason the Arab nations followed his lead to normalize with Israel is because they felt that he was going to stand up to the common enemy, which is Iran.
But I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that Trump would have pursued a different policy toward normalization between Saudi Arabia and
No, I think
Israel
this is a
than the
natural
Biden
extension.
administration?
I want to compliment the Biden administration for building on what Trump did. I'm trying to work with the Biden administration to get an agreement between Saudi and Israel that would make the world more stable. Iran's biggest nightmare is that the Arab world join with the Israelis to move toward the light, away from the darkness. So I want to help Tony. I want to help President Biden in this endeavor because this is the right policy.